Hello guys, welcome to today's lesson. Hopefully this turns out to be one of the most easiest lessons of the class. So let's get started. This is lesson 1-5 in the textbook and it's solving systems specifically by graphing. Today we're going to be using the NC test version of Desmos. I did put a link on Canvas for in case you can't find it, and I'm going to show you how to find it on Google. And hopefully it won't be too hard to find for you guys. So let's go ahead and jump into example number 1. I recommend you could write this down. You don't really need to because the lesson's going to be pretty straightforward, but writing it down always helps you remember. So let's go ahead and read the problem. How can you use a graph to solve an equation? So we're going to solve negative 3x plus 20 equals 5 by graphing. To solve an equation by graphing, you have to write two new equations by setting y equal to each in the original equation. So for example, the negative 3x plus 20 is one equation itself, so I said y equals that equation. And then 5 is on the other side of the equation, so I said y equals 5. And how am I going to solve this? I am going to go to Desmos. And this is the Desmos NC test version. Literally, all I did was type Desmos NC test version into the search box and got it. So you should be looking at something like this. And to solve this problem, we're going to say y equals negative 3x plus 20. There's my first part of the equation. And the second part of my equation is y equals 5. Again, you got to separate it into two separate ones. So if you look at this, my blue function is the linear line negative 3x plus 20, and my green function is the y equals 5. The solution to this, and hopefully this is review, is where they intersect. Bam, there we go. So my intersection is at 5, 5. So what's the solution to this? Well, technically we're solving for x. So x equals 5, because you only take the first value, only take the x value from the intersection, because you're interested in solving for x. This is negative 3x plus 20 equals 5. You're solving for x. So in this example, it was just x. Real quick, I'm going to show you how to make a split screen because that's what I'm going to be using. You take this window like this and you drag it to the left till it kind of like clicks. Mine's not clicking because I have a different setting. Give me 1 second. Let me fix it. So here, let me show you again how to do it. You got to grab it not from the tab. Don't grab it from the tab. Grab it from this space right here, and then you scoot it over to the left like that, and it automatically should click to that side. And then it asks you which window do you want to be on the other side. I want this window. So that's how you make a split screen. Always kind of just dragging the top, not the tabs, and dragging it over to the left so that it clicks. So here's my split screen, and it says x equals 5 is the solution. All you got to do is take the x value from the intersection right there. Perfect. So that was pretty straightforward. Let's go ahead and try example number 2. Solve this equation by graphing. So notice that I'm going to write the left side first, and I'm going to write it as a function. Y equals the absolute value. To get the absolute value on Delta Math, just click this keyboard down here. Press the absolute value, x minus 4, enter. So there's my first half of the equation. And then I'm going to do y equals, and then I'm going to put in the other side, 1/2 x. Be careful with that x. It's not in the numerator. The x is beside it. So I use the arrow key to bring it up. I press the arrow to the left, to the right. And so there is my equation. And if you look at this graph, we have our absolute value and our linear, and it intersects twice. So how many solutions do we have? We have 2 solutions. So x equals, the first one is 2. Our first x value is 2. And the second x value is 10. So our solution is 2 and 10. So you can separate it using a comma in the future when you need to type that in. And that's how easy it is to solve an equation using graphing. So let's do example number 3. Again, I would practice this on Desmos, typing it in. So I'm going to erase this. And I'm going to put the first half in. Y equals negative absolute value x minus 2, enter. Y equals negative 1/2 x minus 2. Oops, that is not what I wanted. Notice that you need to press the arrow key. I press the right arrow key to bring it up like that. So be very careful when typing this in. And my solution, again, is where it intersects. And again, we're only taking the x value. So my solution to this one is x equals 0 and x equals 8. So I have two solutions for the example number 3. And again, it's that simple on a Desmos graphing. All right, example number 4. Now this one's where it gets a little bit trickier, but it's still the same thing. So I'm gonna type it into Desmos again because I'm solving systems using graphing or technology. My inequality symbols are down here, so I'm gonna type in my inequality symbols. And notice this, an inequality is not the same as an equal sign. It's not the same as an equal sign. An inequality has a shaded area. So let's go ahead and write this one. We have x, and let's look at where it crosses right here. The value of my x there is -2. So we have x and -2. Now, we need to put an inequality symbol right there in the middle. Here's my -2. It's shaded to the left. All the numbers to the left are smaller or less than. So this is x is less than -2 is one part of the solution. Now let's go to the other side. 2. So we know we have x and 2. Now we got to figure out which way the inequality goes. The shaded area is to the right of 2. Any number to the right of 2 is bigger than 2. So that means that x is greater than 2. So there's our solution. X is less than -2 and x is greater than 2 for example number 4. All right, try example number 5. Pause the video and type it into Desmos and try it. While you do that, I'm going to go ahead and type it in myself. Again, I'm hoping you're following along and practicing reading the graph with me. So here is our quadratic, and when is it greater than 0? This is example number 5. So I know I have x and -5, and then I have on the other side x and -1, x and -1, and now I just got to determine which way that my inequality signs go. For here, for this one, it's shaded to the left. Any number to the left is smaller. So therefore, my inequality is my less than symbol. X is less than -5. Now, after -1, it's shaded to the right. That means that my answer is x is greater than -1, like that. So there's my solution. X is less than -5 and x is greater than -1. All right, try number 6. Pause the video and try it while I type it in. And again, you're practicing putting this into Desmos. All right, this one's a little different. I wanted to show you this example. This one's a little different. So let me see if I can move it over. This one has one solution. Notice that if I keep zooming out, I'm zooming out, it's shaded to the right. So let me click the home button again. So this one only has one solution because it's only shaded one way, or it has one inequality, not one solution. I apologize. And it has x and 1. X and 1. It's shaded to the right of 1. So because it is shaded to the right of 1, that means my x is greater than 1. That's the solution to this one. And you could actually solve this one using just moving the steps over, plus 3x minus 3. You could solve it that way. But using Desmos is pretty easy that way as well. Either way works. All right, let's try number 7. So go ahead and try number 7, maybe even number 8. And then we'll do it together. Round to the nearest 10th. Rounding to the nearest 10th is just one decimal place. So I'm going to go ahead and type it in. Hopefully you guys had a chance to try it. Oh, I was supposed to put it as y equals. I forgot. Y equals, make it into one function, and then make the other part into another function. Y equals absolute value of x minus 4, like this. All right, so here is my graph. I have an absolute value and a quadratic, and they intersect twice. So I'm going to have two answers. There's my first one, and there's my second one. And it says to round. So I'm going to round this. Let's see. Let me make my fonts bigger. X equals, says round to the nearest tenth. So that's 2.69. That 9 bumps up by 6. So that's going to give me 2.7. Let's do the next one. Round to the nearest tenth again. We got 5.3. 5.3. The 0 does not bump up 3, so therefore it's just 5.3. So that's the solution to problem number 7. All right, go ahead and try number 8 while I type it in. It's x squared. To bring the square, it's right here on the keyboard, just so you know. Plus 2x minus 1. And then the next one is the absolute value. To get out of the absolute value, you can press the left and arrow keys on your keyboard or on the screen right here, the left and right. Right, so I put in both equations, and it says, using graphing technology, approximate the solutions to the equations. Again, the solutions are just the x values. So down here, I'm going to type that. Whoops. And type it right there. Make my font bigger. X equals, and let's see what the solution is. Negative 3.3, and I think we're rounding to the nearest tenth. So the answer on this one is negative 3.3 because that 0 does not bump it up. And for the next answer is where they intersect, not the y-intercept, where they intersect. That's 1.79. The 9 bumps up the 7, so the answer is 1.8. And bam, there we go. We solved those equations using technology, using Desmos graphing. You guys have homework on the online textbook, so just keep that in mind. And hopefully this made sense. If you have any questions, email me, leave me a comment, and let me know. Have a good day. Bye-bye. As I am reviewing this, I'm going to tell you guys I did make a mistake on one of these examples. It's a very small mistake that you can make. Shoot me an email if you're able to catch the mistake for some extra credit. Be like, Ms. Cortez, I found the mistake. But there is a mistake at the end during the video with one of the examples. Let's see who can catch it. One of these is wrong. And see if you can tell me what the mistake is. Shoot me an email. Have a good day, guys. Bye.